Once inside the bathroom, I locked the door and immediately stood on the toilet seat. The ceiling tile I'd loosened weeks ago shifted easily. I shoved the bag inside, then actually used the toilet to make the sounds convincing. 3 minutes passed. I flushed, ran water, then groaned loudly again. Mama, I can't stop. My stomach. Her fist pounded the door. Open this door. I can't, I cried, standing on the toilet again. The small window above it had been painted shut years ago, but I'd been working at it with a butter knife stolen from the kitchen. Please, just another minute. More pounding. Multiple voices now. My aunts had joined her. I pushed the window frame with all my strength. The paint cracked, then gave way. Cool morning air rushed in. The opening was tiny, meant for ventilation, not escape. But months of starvation had made me small enough. She's taking too long. My father's voice boomed. Break it down. I grabbed my bag from the ceiling and shoved it through the window first. Then I pulled myself up, shoulders scraping against the frame. The door shook as bodies slammed against it. My hips stuck. I bit my tongue to keep from crying out, twisting sideways. The lock splintered just as my legs cleared the window. I dropped 6 feet onto wet grass, ankle twisting but not breaking. Behind me, shouts erupted from the bathroom. I ran, barefoot, nightgown flapping. I sprinted across our backyard and into the neighbors. Dogs barked. Motion lights flickered on. I kept running. Our neighborhood was a maze of identical houses filled with families from our community. Any of them would return me without question. I cut through the Hassan's yard, past the Mahmoud's pool, around the Saleh's garden shed. A car engine roared to life behind me, then another. They'd mobilized fast. I ducked behind the Abdullah's garbage bins as headlights swept past. My cousin Omar's voice carried through the morning air. Check every street. She couldn't have gone far. The main road was 3 blocks away. The bus stop 4. I'd mapped this route 100 times in my head, but never barefoot. Never with my heart hammering so hard I thought it might explode. I darted between houses, using parked cars as cover. My feet left bloody prints on the concrete. A piece of glass embedded itself in my heel, but I couldn't stop to remove it. There! My cousin Kareem's shout came from the left. A car screeched around the corner. I dove through Mrs. Chen's rose bushes, thorns tearing at my nightgown and skin. She wasn't from our community. Maybe she wouldn't recognize me. I limped across her backyard and into the alley behind. The bus stop came into view just as the morning bus pulled up. I burst from between buildings, waving frantically. The driver, an older black woman, took one look at my bloody feet and torn nightgown and held the door. I climbed the steps and froze. No money. In my panic, I'd left the $20 in the bag. Please, I whispered. I just need to get downtown. I'll pay you back. I promise. An elderly woman in the front seat stood up, pressing exact change into the machine. Sit down, child, she said softly. She didn't ask questions, just guided me to the seat beside her and handed me tissues from her purse. The bus pulled away just as Omar's car skidded into the parking lot. I ducked below the window, but not before seeing his face twisted with rage. The woman beside me shifted slightly, blocking me from view. We rode in silence until downtown, where she pressed a $10 bill into my hand before getting off. Whatever you're running from, she whispered, don't go back. The courthouse was a massive building I'd only seen from car windows. I limped through the metal detectors, leaving bloody footprints on the marble floor. Security guards exchanged glances but didn't stop me. The family court clerk, a middle-aged woman with kind eyes, took one look at me and came around the counter. Honey, do you need medical attention? Emergency protective order. I gasped out the words I'd memorized. I'm 15. They're forcing me to marry. Today, please. She guided me to a chair and brought forms. Where are you staying? We need an address for the order. I recited the shelter address from memory, praying they'd have space when I got there. My phone, forgotten in my bag, began ringing. Mom, then Dad, then Omar, then numbers I didn't recognize. The voicemails piled up without me listening. I knew what they'd say. Dishonor, shame, curse, cancer. The clerk helped me fill out the paperwork, her face growing grimmer with each detail. Previous wives dead at 23. Kidney failure from too many pregnancies. Forced marriage ceremony scheduled for today. Wait here, she said, disappearing into a back office. She returned with a judge who read my petition right there in the lobby. Granted, he said. Emergency order effective immediately. The full hearing will be in 2 weeks. I clutched the paper like a lifeline and limped back outside. The shelter was 12 blocks away. I made it 3 before remembering they might not have beds. The phone call confirmed my fear. We're completely full, the voice said. We can put you on a wait list for Thursday. Thursday, 3 days away. I had nowhere to go for 3 days. That's when I remembered Ms. Rodriguez, my teacher who'd shown me those pamphlets, who'd forgotten to lock her drawer that day. Maybe she hadn't forgotten at all. 3 buses and 2 hours later, I stood outside Jefferson High School. Saturday meant it should be empty, but her car was in the parking lot. I noticed she came in on weekends sometimes, grading papers in the quiet. I found her in her classroom, red pen in hand, stack of essays beside her. She looked up and dropped the pen. Oh my God. She was around the desk in seconds, taking in my bloody feet, torn nightgown, the protective order clutched in my fist. Sit, don't move. She returned with the school nurse's first aid kit and began cleaning my feet. Only then did I start crying. Real tears this time, not the fake ones from the bathroom. They were going to make me marry him today. I sobbed. He unalived 2 wives already. I got the order, but the shelter's full and I have nowhere to go and they're looking for me. She pulled out her phone. CPS emergency line. They have to place you somewhere safe. But the voice on the other end wasn't encouraging.